Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to That's Football for the start of another Premier League weekend where it could have big ramifications. Hello and welcome to Manchester City's trip to Fulham in the Premier League. Anthony Taylor's the referee. I mean, I don't know. He's just rubbish. They're all rubbish. At least it's not Michael Oliver. Look, I think that any hope of Manchester City dropping points here today will ultimately be short-lived. I don't see Fulham doing it. But they are the quintessential Premier League side, I think, and sometimes they can do rather well. We're sponsored by Manscaped on the show. I'll give you all the details about that in a moment, but remember, you can get 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code FOOTY. Trim the grass, make your yard look bigger as I get all my equipment out. Not that equipment, Janet. Don't worry about that. Right, okay. Lots of 115s in the chat. Look, it's a democracy. As long as you're not abusive, I ain't going to stop you. We're up and running here, though. Let's get the team news in for you. Quite a lot of Premier League games going on today, actually. Although I do not think that they're that good. Which is why I'm doing this game as a watch-along. I thought about Forest-Chelsea, but I actually think Chelsea will put them away quite comfortably. Because this is a potential for the title race, I thought, well, you never know. Anyway, we have got the lineups for you, and they look a lot like this. Man City lineup with Ederson, Akanji, Vardiel, Kovacic, Diaz, Aki, Bernardo Silva, Rodri, Haaland, De Bruyne, and Foden. Which means Grealish isn't even on the bench. Doku is on the bench. Stones is on the bench. Kyle Walker is on the bench. Okay, so they've got a big game against Spurs, of course, on Tuesday. So maybe they're looking at that. And then Fulham are on the attack at the moment. Let's just see what happens. The cross comes in. It goes for a corner there. Leno, Castagnet, Robinson, Palhinha, Diop, Bassi, Cordova, Reed, Iwobi, Muniz, Pereira, and Willian. So, you know, I think it's going to be very hard. I think it's going to be very, very hard to get a result here today for Fulham. But I'm sure a lot of us would like that to happen. Yes, I'm sure we would. I'm sure we would. Let's see what happens with this corner here. I can't see. So many bloody glasses. Corner comes in, headed away. Edge of the box. Nice little ball out wide. Whip the cross back in again. That's the way. That's the way. Haaland heads it away. Okay. Can we see better now? Yes. Lovely stuff. Will you last 45 minutes, says Rocco? Well, the great thing is Celtic Rangers is on, which I'm also keeping an eye on. Early cross into the box, another corner. Ah, he's given a bloody goal kick. He's on the take. He's on the take. Bloody hell. How is that not a corner? How can he tell that's not a corner? It's a bloody corner. It hits Diaz. Fucking hell. Absolute joke. Absolute joke. It looked a corner, and it bloody was a corner. But old Anthony Taylor decides, I'm going to be edgy and give a goal kick to City. Bloody God, I tell you, don't look. I threw the chair on Monday because of VAR. It was nothing to do with United getting battered. And I'll throw a chair again. I hate VAR. I've just remembered every game I come into a game and I forget about VAR. Never forget. As Take That once said. Anyway, I hope you're having a bloody good day. It's obviously a lovely day in the UK, and I hope it's a lovely day wherever you are as well. We've been doing a lot of work in the garden, me and Seb today. The old, I'll have done a bit of, that'll be saying I've done a lot of exercise today. Although a friend of mine used to never wanted to wear one of these fitness bands because his wife got it in because she was worried about his weight. So he used to put it on the dog when he took it for a walk, and then let it run around the park and sit and have a Subway on the bench. Some people don't really care about fitness, but other people make them do it. There's always a way out. There's always a way out. Although, I don't want to get into all that nonsense again. There's people in my family that think you get exercise from riding a horse. Yeah, you're basically sat on a mobility scooter. The movement is from the horse. Like, they think that when they're riding a horse and they're getting all their steps in, they think it's because they're doing energetic things on a horse. It's because you're moving and it thinks you're moving. You don't, Casper. I've had this chat before. I haven't scientifically checked it out, but what I'm saying makes sense. If you're on a horse and it's running, you bounce around. It's not like a car, because people would say, well, why don't you get your steps in when a car moves? Because when you're in a car, you're sat pretty much not moving. When you're on a horse, you're exhilarated and you bounce around a lot. So your fitness band thinks that you are actually walking when you're not. You're actually not. May says, please win this. Yeah, well, I think that I was going to have a quick look at the league table. As I get it up on screen for you. That's how the league table looks at the moment. As it stands, if Man City drew, they would be level with Arsenal. Arsenal have a slightly better goal difference. So a draw will do as well for Arsenal. Of course, Man United tomorrow. Do I have mixed feelings if Man City were to drop points? Well, even if they don't. No, I want Man United to win. Hope you and the fam are well, mate, says Leroy Cooper. B says, come on, Rangers. Oh, I don't know. Oh, what's going on there? It's 0-0 in Rangers Celtic. I think Celtic will win because it's at Celtic and there's no Rangers fans there, are there? But the atmosphere will be hard. I tell you what, the atmosphere in there at Celtic Park will be like honeymoon night. How many goals do you think City are going to score, Mark? Says X. No, they're going to win. They're going to win. The pitch pattern is annoying, says IDK. I quite like it. I suppose it's a little bit... Yeah, I know what you mean. There's too many shades, isn't there? So it sort of makes it hard if you let it bother you. It wasn't bothering me until you said it. But I know what you mean, yeah. I'll tell you what's more annoying. There's a kit clash. There actually is a kit clash. Light blue in the sun looks white. There is a kit clash. And Man City are wearing white shorts. Mark, what do you think is more ferocious, the cop or the yellow wall? The yellow wall's got to be the best. I mean, I can't say in the world because obviously I think there'll be people from South America saying that their atmospheres are better. But I think the yellow wall in Dortmund has got to be the best stadium atmosphere, stand atmosphere in Europe. It's beautiful weather today, Jacob. Yes, it is. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. The big game of the weekend really is Man United Arsenal tomorrow. That'll be live on the United stand. Slightly slim pickings today, which is why I've gone Fulham Man City with it, so I can keep an eye on Rangers Celtic if this game dies. But it's I think there's teams that can get relegated today, though, isn't there? Can't Burnley and Luton could get relegated today. I mean, they won't. But Only 2 games to go, and Burnley are 5 points away from safety. So if they don't win today, Burnley are down, and then Luton would go down if they draw, and Forest avoid defeat, really. So we could see Luton and Burnley relegated today. I'm starting to think, I wonder if there's an outside chance of Tottenham getting 4th place. If they win their last 3 games, they'd go to 69 points. And Villa's last 2 are Liverpool at home and Palace away. So it could still, amazingly, be on. But Spurs won't win their last 3. How do you envisage Leverkusen doing in the Champions League next season, says Connor? I don't know. I've not really thought about it. I mean, they've had a very good season. Part of me wishes they'd been in the Champions League this year, because as with Napoli had that really good season, didn't they? And then, you know, you sometimes fall off a little bit. Where'd you get the overlays from, says Bew? If you pop into Sainsbury's and you know where they keep the peanuts, just next to there. No, I get them from a graphic designer. If City score, it's game over, says Isaac. Well, there's a nice pace to this game at the moment. Do you think Chelsea will get Europe, says Leroy? I do. I think it's between them and Newcastle, really. I think they're the 2 teams with... I mean, it won't be United. We've got nothing. You know, we're deader than a duck's arse. A dead duck's arse. But... yeah, Chelsea and Newcastle seem to have a bit of momentum at the moment. But 12 minutes, well, 11 minutes gone here, and at the moment, they're sort of cancelling each other out. I am struggling with the kick clash. Come on, Fulham, says Albie. Have you ever been to Craven Cottage? I'm Australian and want to do a trip touring stadiums. Looks awesome right on the water. Is it worth it, says Jarbar Drinks. No, I've been to Fulham. It's a little stadium as far as Premier League goes, but this is lovely play. If this ends up being a goal, oh my God. That's a cracking goal by Vardiel. That is a cracking goal by Vardiel. There's Noel Gallagher. Just seen him at the top, look. He'll be there because he lives in London, the posh prat. Yeah, it was a good goal. I mean, considering he was playing centre-back at Leipzig, watch this. 1-2 with De Bruyne, cuts inside, takes his time and puts it in the bottom corner. It's a training ground goal. Lovely play by De Bruyne. Lovely touch by Vardiel. And that's a good goal. It's a good goal, that is. Oh, dear. King Gunner says, Mark, honest score prediction for tomorrow. Yeah, you're going to win. David says, I'm holding on for a hero till the end of the night once again. Thanks, David. Yeah, I wouldn't expect Fulham to have any incentive in the sun to come back against Man City here. I mean, they are literally on the beach. Pereira was I just saw Pereira running around with a towel and some sun cream. Fulham's season's over. And switch it off, says the Grace. No, I'm not going to switch it off. I'm going to stick with it a little bit longer. Yeah, going back to what Jarbard Drink says, yes, Craven Cottage is a nice stadium. Quite small as far as the Premier League goes, but it is on the Thames. It's in the nicer area of London as well, Fulham. That's why Noel Gallagher's there. He probably lives very close. He can probably walk it. Put on Peppa Pig instead, says Morton. Here's a pint on me, Mark. About to go on holiday to Prague. Can't wait, says Matt. Oh, mate, you're a legend. Thanks very much. What are Fulham doing here? I mean, could they try any less? It's like watching Man United. On this day in 2008, Middlesbrough 8-1 to Man City, says Matty J. You're joking. May the 11th. All I'm going to say is just check out my tweets at Mark Goldbridge. Why is boycott pure? Oh, I shouldn't ask this. I'm being too topical. Okay, no. Oh, I'm so glad. You know, sometimes take a beat. Take a beat. I really nearly said something that could have backfired badly there. Basically, something's trending and it makes no sense to me. But I checked and now I'm like, yeah, I can understand why that's trending. Get out. Don't say anything about that. Yeah, Matty J, thanks for that. On this day, 2008, Middlesbrough 8, Man City 1. What changed in 2008? Why did Man City go from shit to brilliant? It's not Lineker, no. Yeah, a few of you got it in the chat. I'm not going to get into it. It's I don't do those. I don't do politics. Most Premier League all-time assister is Ryan Giggs, but De Bruyne is second. Woke up at 6 a.m. for the watch-along. Too much red wine last night. Hanging on with a coffee and a dream, says Colin. Oh, I was hammered. Thursday night in Birmingham, I was hammered. I can't tell you these stories on the United stand, but that's a nice ball over the top for Fulham. And his pass was shit. But Willian's won it back. I do like Robinson for Fulham. Nice little dink in the box. Terrible by Cordova Reed. Mark, when will you finally start calling the PGMOL corrupt? Anyone with any brain activity can see it's not incompetence, so what else can it be? Yeah, but Reese, if I call them corrupt, I'll get sued because I've been warned already. So by all means, if that's what you think, you can get away with it. Crack on, mate. But I've got to be very careful. I did a tweet in bloody September in frustration and I got warned. Look, I'm not worried to say what I think, but in fairness, calling them that without evidence, you will get, you can put yourself in trouble. Although it would be quite funny if they tried to take me to court, because I would start up a GoFundMe and I would employ a good lawyer and I would show every fuck up they've made this season and put it to the jury. Is that incompetence or is something sinister going on? I suppose they wouldn't want the heat, would they? They really wouldn't want it. It would be a PR nightmare. Between Forest or Luton, who do you think will go down? And do you think one will go down next year, if not this year? Ate your chips with the super chat there. I think Luton are going to go down, mate. And I suppose it's about whether they deserve to go down anyway, because the only reason Forest and Everton were down in the relegation battle was because of points deduction. Do they deserve those points deduction? Is the interesting thing. But here's Cordova Reed. He's got to slip that into Iwobi. And good covering defending by Phil Foden. But I think Luton are going to go down. They just haven't won enough games. Yeah, I was absolutely hammered on Thursday. But before I talk to you about that, which I will talk to you about, it was quite funny in McDonald's actually. Let me just say this. We are sponsored by Manscaped on the show today. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. Effectively, trim around your balls to tidy things up and make it look bigger. You can do that with Manscaped. You can get also 20% off with the code FOOTY and free worldwide shipping. Scan that QR code. It will take you to the website, or you can go through the link in the description. Get your order in. 20% off, free worldwide shipping with the code FOOTY. This is the lawnmower. This is the one that does all the great stuff. It's got a light on it as well, so you could do it in the cupboard if you want, or if you go out to a pub and you get lucky and you've got to go somewhere, you could just pop in somewhere and give it a bit of a tidy up. Also, they've got the beard trimmer, which is fantastic. I use this all the time. It's got 11 different lengths on it for different lengths of that. The weed whacker for up your nose, and then the handyman, which if you fancy being clean shaven, this will do it very, very quickly. And this you can take around with you. It's got a full charge. Janet's favourite noise. I use it for around the edge. Look at Pep. Look at Pep. He knows the cameras are there. You know all that there? He bloody... That is camera... That is cameras, that is. That is... The cameras are on me. He's got such a massive ego. Good manager, but I don't like it when he does that. Like he did it to Grealish the other week. Where he when he goes and he could talk to them in the dressing room, but he berates them on the pitch. It's all about, oh, look at me, I'm Pep. I'm so bloody good. I mean, he is good, but anyway, use the code FOOTY. Links in the description. Scan the QR code and trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. So Man City top as it stands with the same amount of games played. They're going to win the league. I said they were going to win the league in August. I've said it all season, they'll win the league. I don't know why people got excited. Arsenal on a 10 still can't beat Man City on a 7. I don't think Man City have been that good this year. By their standards, last year they were amazing. This year, I'd give Man City a 7 out of 10. I don't think they've been anywhere near their best. Arsenal have pretty much been a 10. And that's the problem with this Premier League. You've got a challenger who does nothing wrong and still can't win the league. Can Ipswich cause a shock next season? If so, can you see someone going in for McKenna? I reckon Brighton. Yeah, 100% the beast. I think what Ipswich and McKenna need to do next year is stay up. And they will be not grateful, but helped by the fact if Luton, Sheffield United and Burnley go down, any team, Leicester, Ipswich, if they stay up next year, that's a positive for them, isn't it? Because they've stayed up. So I think for McKenna, stay up with Ipswich next year, and then next summer you're probably going to get the offer of a Brighton or something like that, yeah. Linda's okay. Glad you're doing well, Linda. Why are you doing a watch along to Man City? Because it was either this or or Forest Chelsea, and I think Chelsea will batter Forest. So I thought, well, Man City will probably beat Fulham, but At least it's to do with the title. What are some of your favourite British sayings? I'm from Texas, says Colin. And Mark, name a United player for an edit, says Mally. Martinez. What a Pratt. I saw something yesterday. Apparently the word Pratt, Pillock and something else are dying out. There's no way the word Pratt should be dying out. Like, there are certain words that in the vocabulary do die out. And De Bruyne, edge of the box. And apparently Pratt's one of them. Plonker. Plonker, Pillock and Pratt are apparently words that are dying out of the English dictionary. They're not being used. There's no way that Pratt, I guarantee you now, 10 years ago, Pratt wasn't being as used as much as it is now. Like, literally, we've kept that alive as a community. People weren't using the word Pratt 10 years ago. Now they are. Don't know where they're getting their stats from, the bloody Pratts. 9G says, as a Spurs fan, I'm glad this season is almost finished. Great start to the season, but it's derailed at this point. Thanks for all the work. Great entertainment. Gin and tonic on me. Oh, 9G, thank you. Thanks for that. It's almost like that thing when you can buy someone a coffee. If you see, it's a bit like Patreon, buy someone a coffee. Somebody did it on United Stand yesterday. First time it's ever happened in 10 years. They were like, I know you go down the pub on a Friday night, Mark. £5 super chat, have a pint on me. And I thought, what a lovely thing to do. What a lovely thing to do, because I did go down the pub, I bought a pint, and I thought that was from Emil. I think I've got the name right. I think it was. I hate the summer, bring on winter, says Grace. Ooh, Grace ain't happy. I like the summer. I like every day, really. Well, I don't. If I'm in a bad mood or fed up, I don't like any day, but season-wise, I like the winter. I like Christmas. I like Halloween. And then the summer. I like the sun. I like a drink, you know. I like a holiday. I like a break. I like the transfer window. I like the summer tournaments. Here's De Bruyne. Trying to get Haaland in. You feel that second goal for Man City isn't too far away. Oh, my God. I'm sure there's a kit clash going on here. The amount of misplaced passes going on. I'm being bloody serious here. I know people won't take me seriously. I'm being bloody serious here. When you wear light blue and it's shiny in the sun, it looks white. I've got a light blue Ralph Lauren shirt. And in the sun, it looks white. Why on earth, on a sunny day, would the referee allow Man City to wear a shiny light blue top against the team in white? Foden with a good shot straight at the keeper. Anyway, do you think we'll sack Ten Hag if we lose the FA Cup final, says Jack? I don't know. Binbag says, Madrid and City will run Europe for at least half a decade with their squads. No one compares at the moment. Boring, boring, boring. I think the Premier League's got a problem, but no one wants to talk about it. The Premier League's got a problem. It's got a very big problem. 6 titles in 7 years. Man City lose 8-1 to Middlesbrough in 2008. And then 15 years later, they're winning 6 out of 7. Why? Money. They've got more money than everybody else. So for me, the Premier League are thick. Man City are dominating because they've got the most money. And they've spent it well. So they've got the best manager, the best players, the best squad. Man City are dominating because of money. Now, Arsenal have just done about as much as they can do. And if they don't win the league, what can Arteta say in the summer? What more can he do next year to close the gap? And Man City might be better next year than they have been this year. The only way to sort this is to let Newcastle have free reign. I hate to say it, but the only way to beat people with money is to get people more money. And people don't want this conversation because it won't help Man United, it won't help Liverpool. But if they let Newcastle go free reign, in a couple of years, they might actually compete with Man City. But if they don't, Man City's financial power is so big. They can spend so much money every summer because they are making the revenue now and they are winning the trophies and their wage bill isn't particularly crippling. Pep Guardiola, it's boiling and he's wearing a cardi, says Fan United. City just knocking it about here. Half an hour gone, 1-0 up. In the Rangers-Celtic game, it's still 0-0 there after half an hour. It's all Celtic every time I put it on. Lovely atmosphere at these games. And good to see a title race go to more or less the end of the season as well. It's all Celtic at the moment, though. Goal. Oh, what a save by the keeper that was. That should have been a goal for Celtic. A bloody good save by the keeper, that. I'll keep you updated. We got slow roasted in Texas last summer. 4 weeks of just under or well over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Plus humidity, swampy cheeks was a real issue, says Colin. We had a summer a couple of years ago. It was 2 years ago, actually. We had a summer 2 years ago where for about a month, it was like at 1 o'clock in the morning, it was like 32 degrees. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. It was just oppressively stupid. But last summer was crap. I'm a Saints fan, says Isaac, and while there have been some shocking decisions, I've enjoyed the Championship more, but having said that, wouldn't be good for my club if we didn't go up for Leeds. I think you will go up Southampton, actually. Yeah, Thursday night I was in Birmingham. I'd been recording my audiobook, so it was the final day of recording the audiobook because obviously the book comes out very soon. And I was in a hot room all day and I was just like, I've got to go drinking. I need to go drinking. So went to the OC's, Old Contemptibles in Birmingham, lovely pub, booked a hotel room and just went for it from 4:30 on the Madry. And had a really good night. And then it got to about, I don't know what. I'd like to say it was 1 o'clock in the morning, but there's no way it was that late. I'd say it was about from 4 o'clock till, I'd say I'd say 6 or 7 hours. So it's about 10:30. Got back to the hotel room. I wasn't like, the room wasn't spinning or anything like that. I just was really hungry. So I was like, well, I'm in Birmingham City Centre. You know what's open? McDonald's. Man City get a corner here. Let's just see what happens. De Bruyne. Vardiel heads it back in and Fulham clear it away. Yeah, so I'm in Birmingham City Centre. So I went and found a McDonald's and I didn't really think about it too much. I just was like, yeah, got myself one of them digital screens and started ordering stuff. 3 bottles of water. Who orders water from McDonald's? 3 bottles of water, 2 McChicken sandwiches, 2 large fries and 20 chicken nuggets. Took them back to the hotel room, sat on the floor in front of the TV and was there like with a McChicken sandwich going on fries, chicken nuggets. I don't know how many I ate. I didn't dare look in the bin that morning. I hope in the bin there was like 10 nuggets, an uneaten sandwich and an uneaten fries, but I suspect I might have ate the lot. It was nice in the McDonald's though. Got recognised by a load of people. Nice people. Your Bruins, you know, bread pledge there, Mark, says Rafa. I know it was a bad night, but you got to have a blowout every now and again. It's like a mate of mine on his birthday. and it was verified by his wife. We were out. He told us, "Oh, Haaland, let's see what happens here." I'll come back to that in a minute. Foden into the box, and Haaland wins it back. Yeah, you got to have a blowout every now and again. There was a friend I used to work with. I mean, he shouldn't have told us, but then again, you'll hear what the wife said. He told us on a night out once that on his birthday, his wife used to treat him by letting him. I'm trying to say this without being blunt on a Saturday lunchtime, but on his birthday, his wife used to let him use the back door of the house. Yeah? And at the work Christmas do, she was there, and basically somebody asked her, and she said she'd had a couple of drinks. She said, "Yeah, I don't mind it as a one-off. I actually quite enjoy it, but if I told him that, he'd want to do it more often." So you've got to have a blowout every now and again, haven't you? That's why. I mean, I try not to eat bread and stuff, but every now and again. Did you enjoy Wembley? Shame Solihull lost, says Jack. I really did. We really did. They're playing today at 4:30. Actually, I'm gonna put it on the telly in the back garden and do a bit of work and keep an eye on it. Mason says the worst place you've been on holiday. Italy. Italy's nice. It was just the worst holiday I've ever been on. We went by coach when I was about 14. We went on a coach from Nottingham to Italy. It seemed to take about a week to get there, and it pissed it down with rain the whole time. The resort was really nice. It just pissed it down with rain, all like ridiculous rain. Laser Gaming says, "Come on, Fulham." Celtic have scored, by the way. Not surprised. Every time I've put it on, they've been in the ascendancy. And 37 minutes, they're 1-0 up, Celtic. So, look, Celtic are a bit like Man City. They win the league. But it's been a better league title, but ultimately Celtic are going to win the league. It's a bit like the Premier League, isn't it? I think it's going to be a better title, but ultimately the same team's going to win the league. Nick P says 20 chicken nuggets would end me at 46. But you know when you've had, not all of you will be drinkers, but when you've had about 7 pints and you get in that zone of feeling hungry, I think I ate all 20. I can just imagine that box, and I had sweet and sour sauce. I would have just been going like this. It's 2-0 to Celtic. Long ball over the top. Out wide. No one's in the box. Oh my God. What a shit own goal that is. It's a bloody good finish. It's a cut back cross, and the Rangers player passes it in the bottom corner. It's hard to see what he was trying to do other than do that. Check his bank account. Where did I go in Italy, says Mo? It was around Lake Garda. It wasn't Lake Garda, but it was North Italy, and it pissed it down with rain. It was a really nice resort. It just pissed it down with rain. It was a depressing holiday. Gene says, a TalkSport trying to turn on Mark. I could read that in two ways. Like, turn on me in a nasty way, or are they trying to get me stimulated? Either way, I don't like it. Can you do Chelsea Nottingham Forest, please, says Max. I can't, mate. I can't. I've got a commitment. I mean, the thing is, by the time that game comes along, if Luton and Burnley haven't won, for Forest, it won't even matter. If Luton and Burnley lose, Burnley are down, and Luton would need Forest to lose their last 2 and then score about 50 goals. Oh, good defending there. You can't pick that up! You can't pick that up! How the hell is that not a back pass? Fucking hell! I just despair. That is absolutely incredible. How the hell is that not a back pass from Diaz? It's a lovely ball. He stretches his foot out, knocks it up in the air, and Edison catches it. It's like referees just decide not to follow the rules. Like, the reason that's a back pass, right, is because what Diaz does with that ball, it's going to the Fulham player if Edison doesn't catch it. Rangers have scored as well. Well, they've done very well to score, considering. Yeah, 2-1. Well, interesting. Look how accurate Fulham pass range is versus ours, says Kanye. Thank you very much. Mark, I've done that one as well. Did you hear about Donny's injury? Says Ali. Yeah, I mentioned it this morning on that United Stand. Marcus Goldie, how are you? Says Jangles. I'm good, mate. Hope you're well. Max, thank you very much for your super chat as well. It wasn't a pass, it was a clearance. Mate, you've never played football in your fucking life, have you? What an absolute prat. That is not a clearance. Look, maybe some people can read the game better than others, I don't know. But there's no way that's a clearance from Diaz. It's a cushioned little knock over the Fulham player so that Edison can get it. It's 100% a pass. There's no way that's a clearance. If it's a clearance, you blast the shit out of it. He didn't. He cushioned it up in the air for Edison to catch it. But Anthony Taylor's too fucking thick to realise how the game works, that he was apparently the best referee at. I went to Bologna in Italy around Christmas. It was grim. Everything shuts early. How's an Englishman supposed to get hydrated, says Nick P. Yeah, you got to be careful where you go on holiday, because if you go to the wrong place at the wrong time, i.e., like you think you're going to have a few drinks and stuff, you're going to get disappointed. Play FIFA at half time, Mark. I thought it was getting called up for Girth last night, and then that sounds wrong. And then I was on standby and I never got the message. On this day in 2008, Middlesbrough beat Man City 8-1. 15 years later, Man City has won 7 Premier League titles since. That's enough evidence to send those frauds back to the Championship, says Venrick. Jangle says Marcus Saltbridge. Well, if Fulham get to half-time 1-0, at least we get into the second half. I don't smoke, Joel, no. Ginge wanted you, mate. You should have messaged. No. I've got the evidence. He said, "What time can you get on?" I said 9 o'clock. He said, "I'll let you know if we're still on. I'll message her," and he never did. So it's not on me. Boy, what a chance that was on the back post for them. Akanji. Hey Mark, when are you making a video about Ten Hag's apology fetish? Says Marcus Brown. I don't even know what that is, mate. Sorry. Can't make a video on something I don't know what it is. Spurs or Burnley? Surely Spurs, they can't lose 5 in a row. Although Burnley do need to win. Good defending there. It was a good cross from Fulham. I think it was Diaz who got his head on it. Now it's City. De Bruyne. Little dink. Headed away. Rodri on the edge. I mean, Spurs would have a real problem. I mean, there's a few results today. I mean, Newcastle are playing, Chelsea are playing. There's a few results today that if they go wrong. Tom Grant says, "How hot is it, Mark? Better get them fans on or fannies on." I don't know how hot it is today. It's probably around 22 degrees, I think. It's going to be hotter tomorrow, but we're going to get rain in the afternoon. Potentially going to get thunderstorms tomorrow. Although not necessarily, only 30% chance. We might get away with it. Rangers red card. Rangers red card. That's it. It'll be game over. VAR. Yeah, that's a red. I only saw it once. Yeah. He can't complain. It's a horrible tackle, says Connor. Lundstrom. Statistically, there must be more red cards in the Old Firm game than any other Scottish game. To be fair, I don't think there's any intent. I think he goes for the ball. And I think the Celtic player is very brave because he sort of uses his body to shield the ball. And he could have broke his bloody leg. Commentary's adamant it's not a red. I think that's one of the good things about not having audio when you're watching a game or just listening to our audio, because you don't get influenced by... I actually think my football opinion has got better over the years by not listening to commentary and halftime analysis, because you are pure. All right, you're reliant on your knowledge, but you are pure in the way that you assess things. And I saw that without any audio, and it's a red card, 100%. 100%. I don't want it to be a red card because you want the game to be 11 against 11 when it's a title race, but it's a red. You know, it's a red. It's a red if it's on a City player as much as it's a red if it's on an Arsenal player, and I don't like City. I'd still say it was a red. We've been having horrible tornado outbreaks for weeks now. It's the season in tornado. Love a good thunderstorm, says Colin. As long as you're safe and well, that's all that matters. I used to like waking up in about 4 o'clock in the morning and it's pissing it down with rain in the winter and you know you haven't got to get up. Like on a Saturday night. At half time then, 1-0 to City. Good goal by Vardiel. City haven't got the second one yet. Jack says, "Are Solihull playing today? I'm a Worthing fan. We nearly got promoted to your league, but lost in the playoff final, unfortunately. Unlucky Worthing." Is Worthing down near Brighton? I've been there. Nice part of the country. Nice part of the country. Will you ever do a watch along with Angry Ginge? Says Jacob. I'm happy to do one with Angry Ginge. His trajectory is probably too high for that sort of stuff now, but I would definitely do it. And Fulham played well, still a chance. Well, while it's 1-0, there's still a chance, but they haven't really created much yet. Give me 1 second. is back. He's only back. Have you visited Iceland, Mark? Yes. Although I think the food's a bit shit. United Stand got a decent sized fan base here, says Amar. Oh, the country Iceland. I'm being sarcastic. No, I've never been. How would you know we've got a decent sized fan base there? But I do want to do some of the countries around that area of the world. Yeah, definitely want to get out and about more. Really enjoyed it at Wembley last week, and want to do a few more, not even just football vlogs. Definitely want to do a Dublin one soon, where I can show people, because I lived there for 3 years, the Goldbridge side of Dublin. Least favourite English city, says Jangles. I think I don't want to victimise any particular city, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a place that I've been and got. Wigan. Yeah, Wigan. It was raining. The only time I went to Wigan, it was raining, it was bleak, and yeah, I'll say Wigan. Birmingham's all right, Jacob. Nothing wrong with Birmingham. I was there on Saturday. I was there on Thursday night. There's certain areas of any city that's not great, but Birmingham around the Grand Hotel, and there's some lovely pubs and restaurants around there. Look, around that area of Birmingham, I'm thinking Old Contemptibles pub, Grand Hotel. They film a lot of films there because it's a lot like London, and they do a lot of the car chase scenes around that area of Birmingham. The individual is coming in with a bit of a agony bridge question. It says, former girlfriend reaches out asking about my personal life while drunk, but later shows absolutely no interest while sober. How does that work, says the individual. So, former girlfriend reaches out asking about your personal life while she's drunk, but later shows no interest when she's sober. How does that work? I would decipher this, and I might be wrong, if she's reaching out drunk and asking about you, but when she's sober she doesn't. Correct me if I'm wrong, she's the sort of girl that when she's sober, she would barely even do missionary, but when she's drunk, she'll let you do anything. And I mean anything. We've all met those sort of people. Best steered clear of, really, because it's double standards. When they're sober, they're somebody completely different to when they're drunk. And who's the real person? The one with no inhibitions, or the one with a rod up their arse? Which is what they probably like when they're drunk. We all know those people. People who are different when they're drunk. Yeah. It's a booty call, says Jonas. Well, yeah. Yeah, I've done that one. Hi, Mark. I think you missed my super chat. Sorry if not, says Jay. I doubt it, Jay, but I'll go back. Don't worry. Hi, Mark. Have you... Oh, no, I did miss it. It wasn't there because I read Marcus's. Jay says, hi, Mark. Have you ever had a fan call you by your real name in public? If so, would you react? Also, what's all this about Arahu coming to United? Why would people use my... I don't really care if people use my real name or not. I'll probably ignore you anyway. But it's a little bit weird when people would use my real name when they don't know me. So I would probably just ignore it, because I would just assume that they're a prick because they don't know me. So why would you use my real name? You'd only know me from doing this. So dating advice bridge, says James. I've just given you some. And Rudolph the Red says, how are you, Mark? Hair of the dog for me. I'm not well. Well, it's the weekend, mate. It's lovely weather, and I felt like that yesterday. If Man United play bad next season, then are you going to be Ten Hag out, says Michael. I mean, look, honestly, I probably would be. I would. If it was more of this next season, I probably would be. Because I think you've got 3 seasons then. So, yeah, I probably would be, if I'm being fair. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We're only 80 away from 152,000. So, bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Get involved with That's Football. Fantastic channel. Remember, we've got every single... If you've never done a major tournament with That's Football, Get it in your diary. I was looking at it yesterday, and in fact, let me get the diary out. I was planning it out yesterday. The Euros, I call it. I think they call it the Euros as well. We're doing every single game of the Euros, and I was very excited yesterday looking at them, thinking about, you know, how we fit that in around United stand. It all kicks off on Friday the 14th, Germany against Scotland at 8 o'clock, and then it's 3 games a day for basically a week. Can't wait, and it'll be running for a month, of course, but yeah, Germany, Scotland, 14th of June in Germany. A tournament all in one place as well, which is what I love. I'm sure we'll get some hot weather. And of course, England start on the Sunday night at 8 o'clock against Serbia. Can't wait. I wouldn't say I'm Euros ready, Johnny, but I'm certainly looking forward to it. Fulham haven't had any attempts on goal, by the way. I need to show you these stats because Arsenal fans and everybody else who are hoping that Fulham can get something out of this, it's not looking good, bruv. They've had 33% possession. They've had no shots. They've had no shots on target because they've had no shots. They've had 1 corner. Yeah, it's not good from Fulham, if we're being honest. It's not good at all. Don't forget, we're sponsored by Manscaped. Get 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code FOOTY. Manscaped is absolutely incredible. Precision engineering for your family jewels, but it's more than that. Shaving, nose, hair, ear hair, balls hair. They've got it all done, and the quality in your hand is just so recognizable. Check it out. Link in the description, or scan that QR code as it goes round. 20% off exclusively with the code FOOTY, and you get free worldwide shipping as well. Come back to the chat. Bart says, do people forget that Ten Hag's contract expires next summer? Knowing the owners, it's too expensive to fire him now, so let him see out next season, says Bart. I don't think it's very good having a manager in his final year of a contract, though, Bart. I think that's not necessarily a good thing. Hi, Mark. What's your go-to McDonald's order, says Sergeant Bash. Well, this is the incredible thing. This is the incredible thing, because did you see any Northern Lights last night, says Tom. Why didn't I get told about this? I'm sat there last night with the blind down, watching Clarkson's Farm until midnight, and at no point has anybody said, oh, tonight's the night to look out your fucking window. And I had no idea about it. So I didn't. No, I didn't. And all I can see this morning is people going, oh, it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Why didn't anyone tell us? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But like the individual was saying there about his ex-girlfriend messaging him when she's drunk. When you're drunk, you tend to go for the dirty option. Individual's girlfriend likes it round the back, and that might be something else actually, but we don't know who it is. She can't complain. And when I've had a drink, I like chicken kebab and chips, which I would never eat. You know, get all the sauce on there. But on Thursday night, I'm drunk. I go to McDonald's, and I don't go with anything like what I'd normally go for. Like my normal McDonald's order sober has always been Big Mac meal, fries, chocolate milkshake, and sweet and sour sauce. Always. Always. So drunk on Thursday night, I go for 3 bottles of water, chicken nuggets, and 2 McChicken sandwiches. I don't know. It doesn't even make sense. Be like individual's girlfriend saying, I normally like it round the back, but let's just go for a walk. It was horrendous, Finn. Yeah. Especially when you've had a few to drink. You should really go for what you always want. Pump it up. So yeah, my go-to order, I've done that one from Sergeant Bash. Mark, coming to Wrexham game this season, says Matthew. I might do. Alex says, hi Mark, other content Alex says, hi Mark, other content creators using your content and quotes to help take down BAR. Amazing how far this community has come and the power it has, says Alex. Good. Good. I mean, it's nice to have our content being used in context instead of it. I thought you were going to say, Alex, other content creators using your content and quotes out of context to try and take you down. So it's nice to actually do something positive. Jeremy says, do you see Fulham drawing? Mate, they couldn't draw a fucking circle at the moment. They haven't had a shot on goal, mate. Nelly says, old firm, red card, almost broke his leg. Yep, we know. We spoke about that. And Jay Rayner says, the only northern lights I saw outside was a lamppost. Yeah. Yeah, those sort of things piss me off. It's like a oh, fucking, oh, I don't know what you'd call it. People who show off because they've got something somebody else hasn't got. Like, I didn't know we could look out the window last night and see the northern lights. And yet, I'll fucking put the radio on in the morning when I'm in a bad mood, and the twat on the radio will go, if you look outside tonight at 3 o'clock in the morning, you might see a star go past that goes past every 90 years. But then it's going to be cloudy and rainy. Why didn't anyone say it's a clear night tonight? There's a chance you could see the northern lights. Too busy talking about fucking Eurovision. What prat watches Eurovision in 2024? The same prats who watch The One Show and Mrs. Brown's Boys. Do you think Palmer should start for England? Surely a midfield of Saka, Palmer and Foden behind Kane. Do you think Pochettino will get next season? I can't believe they're thinking about getting rid of Pochettino now that he's actually getting results. Do you genuinely think? Let's do a poll on this. I can't believe this, but there is talk of it. It was in the Telegraph yesterday. Will Chelsea sack Poch? Let me know what your thoughts are. I think it's incredible, but you never know. Would I start Palmer? Well, Saka's got to play off the right. Yeah, I probably would. Northern Lights are back again tonight, Mark. Well, I'm going to have a look. And Lewis says you can only see them through a camera lens anyway, and it wasn't that good. Gateshead, Solihull Moors today on TNT. I'll be keeping an eye on that. Quote of the day from Tom Grant. Who orders water from Mackey's? Mate, I'm ashamed. You know, I like to have a moment of 2024, and I like to have a Pratt moment of 2024. And I think being absolutely legless drunk in McDonald's and ordering 3 bottles of water is just stupid. Where did the health thing kick in? You're literally ordering 20 chicken nuggets, 2 large fries and 2 McChicken sandwiches, and you get 3 bottles of water to be healthy. What an idiot. There used to be somebody at my work in Dublin who did this. They'd walk in to the lunchroom and they'd have like a Big Mac, a McChicken sandwich, a packet of crisps and fries, and an apple pie, but then drink Diet Coke. And I'd just sit there going like that, and they'd say, why are you shaking your head? And I'd say, why are you drinking Diet Coke? And it was before the days you could judge people on what they were eating. And I wasn't really judging anyway. And but you know what? I said, why have you got a Diet? I didn't shake the head. I said, why have you got a Diet Coke? Oh, I'm watching what I eat. I went, are you? Are you really watching what you eat? Like, they weren't getting Diet Coke because they preferred it to Coke. So I followed it up. I said, why do you not like normal Coke? No, I do, but it's got all the sugar and fat in it, so I get the diet one. And I'm like, you're literally eating a Big Mac and a McChicken sandwich in one hand and then the other, and you've gone for Diet Coke because it's got sugar in it. Unbelievable. But Goldbridge did it himself on Thursday night. There's no other reason on this planet to get water at McDonald's. Now, I can't tell you what I was thinking because I was a little bit drunk, but there's no way I've ever bought water from McDonald's before. I always get a strawberry milkshake, a chocolate milkshake, or a Coke, or sometimes a Sprite. If I'm abroad, I'll get a Sprite, but I would never get water. And the stupid thing is, the hotel room I was going back to had 2 bottles of complimentary water. So why did I buy the water? It's been bothering me for 2 days. Why did I buy 3 bottles of water at McDonald's when I always get a milkshake? And I figured it out. It's because I've been eating a lot better for the last few months. And as I was whacking in the 20 chicken nuggets and the chips, I've gone, healthy bridge, get the water. What a prat. And that for me is prat of the month. Prat of the year. Poch, apparently I'm telling the oldest Diet Coke story ever, says Hayden. Well, Hayden, it might be the oldest story ever, but it's true because I don't make stories up. Neve Murphy, 2000, Caledonian Life, Dublin, Merrion Row, lunchroom. Poch might walk. Have you seen what he's saying? Says Tom. How many years has he got left on his contract? Hessen's gifted a membership, by the way. Absolute legend. Carol J has been a member for 4 months. Remember, you can be a member on this channel. Get your badge in. It's going to be great when I turn it to a members only chat. You can do that, you know. You can just turn it to members only chat. I think it's a bit... I don't know. I don't know what I think about it. I wouldn't do it. Matt Thrower says, buying 3 bottles of water at McDonald's is like buying an Arna, Bienda and Mount in a summer transfer window. Ooh, footballist. Joey says, have you lost weight? Yes. I've gone from about... I've lost half a stone. Yeah. I lost half a stone. But I didn't want to lose. I didn't do it to lose weight. If anything, I actually would like to put a little bit more weight on. But I haven't lost weight deliberately. It's just because I've been eating better, I've lost weight. I'm actually looking for tips on food that you can eat that's going to help you put weight on that is not unhealthy. More protein, isn't it, really? Poch might walk. Sean Dyche says, Tuchel keeps it real and people get offended at the truth. I'm happy you don't want him at United, but stop spitting your nonsense to prove he's a bad manager. He's a bad manager, mate. Sacked by PSG, sacked by Chelsea, sacked by Bayern, 15 points behind Leverkusen. Bayern have won the league every year for the last decade. About to get in the Champions League final, he makes shit substitutions. My team in the Premier Division in Ireland, Galway, have scored 8 goals and scored 7 in 15 games and aren't even in relegation fight. A good defence, says Ryan. Dennis is a new member. Welcome. Thank you very much. The team I like in the Irish League is just basically because my mate lives there and supports them, is Drogheda. Who drew yesterday against Shelbourne, 1-1. And a second from bottom. Would you take Slot over Ten Hag if you could, says Drew? No. I'm interested to see what he does at Liverpool, but no, I wouldn't. What do you think about Dortmund for the Champions League? Look, having watched Real Madrid against City and Bayern and seen Dortmund play their last 4 games, Real Madrid are favourites, but it's not like Man City against Inter last year. I think that there is absolutely... Real Madrid will be the favourites, but I think Dortmund could get something out of that. Nick P says, it's actually hard to put weight on eating good food. I've done the same as you. Lost a stone by just not snacking anymore, and early diabetes gone. I mean, Nick, we're probably the same then, really. I don't eat biscuits or crisps. I don't snack. And you're right. When you're thinking about all that stuff you're putting in, and you're maintaining a weight that's half a stone heavier than what you are on snacks, if you remove the snacks, then you're going to lose a bit of weight, aren't you? Come on, Fulham, at least have a shot on goal. I mean, we're just waiting for that second Man City goal and then it's really over, isn't it? Zodiac says it's weird that Fulham haven't had a shot on goal yet. They're on the beach, mate. On the beach. Did Bayern get robbed on Wednesday? Says Amy. Well, let's open up the conversation on this because I've not been live with you since Wednesday. Did Bayern get robbed on Wednesday? Look, I think that the decision I mean, what I read was that we'll never know whether it was offside because the linesman put his flag up too early. So they never drew the line. But he looked marginally offside to me. If anybody didn't see it or you want a recap, it's 2-1 to Real Madrid, last sort of seconds of the game. Long ball goes forward, gets nodded down, and Bayern Munich score, but the referee rules it out because the linesman put his flag up. And I don't know why the linesman put his flag up so quick. I mean, that is suspect. I don't know why he did that. Here's Haaland into De Bruyne, into Bernardo Silva. Good save on the near post. Goes for a corner for Man City. It was a mistake. It was a mistake or whatever. And, you know, if the linesman had done what he should have done and played on, then there would have been a VAR review on that offside. And if it had been offside, it would have been ruled out. And that's the frustration because conspiracy thrives in uncertain areas. I think it was offside, but we've never had it shown. And if it was offside, then it doesn't matter, does it? I think it looked offside, but we don't know because they've not released it. Now, if it was onside, and I tell you what, you're telling me that they couldn't review that. But if it wasn't offside, then obviously it should have been a goal. But honestly, what were Bayern Munich going to do in extra time? What were they going to do in extra time? Half an hour. They had nothing left. Celtic for penalty. An Arna mistake, his fault. Never mistake, Tuchel fault. I would love to sit face to face, shut down your crap opinion instead of wasting money on super chats. Says Sondart. You couldn't shut a fucking door, mate. I'll tell you what. You would try and shut a door and knock yourself out because what are you talking about, an Arna? What are you talking about? Mark, media and journalists want Ten Hag gone as they are frightened of certain players leaving that they have contacts with. Steve? Simons or Elise? Simons, Jack. What is a stone classified in pounds, Mark? Says Chev. I don't know. You should sign Emerson Royal, says Thomas. Fucking rubbish. I've said for a long time that Emerson Royal is crap. I don't want him anywhere near Man United. We've had a penalty miss in the Celtic game against Rangers. I mean, look, it's irrelevant because Rangers are down to 10 men. They're not going to get back into this, but it's Celtic non-stop. Tam Grant says, what's your thoughts on taking £10 out the cash machine? Yeah, does anyone do that anymore? And Sammy says, Lunan doesn't even dive because of the whistle. I hadn't seen that, Sammy, either. Jim says, afternoon, Mark. Hope you're well. It's so sunny today. Thanks, everyone who's tuning in. It's night in Malaysia, says Jed. Tell you what, I've done something to the back of my... Probably when I was drunk. God knows what I've been doing. Probably drank all that water and went for a run. Really high up on my hamstrings. Really sore. Sore like I've done something I don't normally do. New York. Right, here's Adama Traore down the right-hand side. Oh, that was the best chance Fulham have had. And it was an easy save for Edison. Little bit of a flick shot with no power on it. Adama Traore, it was going wide anyway. Adama Traore. I remember there was a time where I really thought he was going to be something special. Parker says, Arsenal game plan tomorrow. Take as many shots at Onana as you can. Yeah. Well, we've had nearly 15 minutes of the second half. De Bruyne. Good shot. Corner. Oh, I need a stretch. Oh, hamstring left. Oh, it's tightening up, mate. I don't want to be injured. I've got too much garden football to play. I wanted to play some garden football this afternoon when it cools down a bit. Beckham! Goldbridge! Man City. Bernardo Silva. Leno's there. Quick poll, Mark. Trossard or Gordon? I'll do that for you, Alex. 66% of you think that Poch won't get the sack. I'm with you on that. Let me do this either or. Oh, it's 2-0. Foden. What was it? Gordon or Trossard? Well, it is boring. It's really boring. Because Man City haven't even been that good this season. And yet they're still way, way better than everybody else. The 3 promoted teams are getting relegated. The team that everybody predicted was going to win the league is going to win the league. It is boring. Look, I know Man City fans will say... oh, bitter and all that. But, well, yeah. And your point is what? Of course we're bitter. It's boring. It's really boring. And look, I can't be called a hypocrite because I said Man City would win the league in August. I'll tell you what, I'll tell you now. Man City will win the league next year and this one's not even over. It's really boring. A lot of people saying 115. I mean, have you ever thought about it? Have you ever thought about it like this though? For the Premier League, have you ever thought that the Premier League? I don't know how to word this in a way. Is it in the Premier League's interest to find Man City guilty or not? Because if they find them guilty, the last 7 Premier League seasons are tainted. Whereas if they find them not guilty, then the credibility of the last 7 seasons is maintained. I just don't know what the Premier League get out of it. 3-0. Oh no, he's missed. Fucking hell, Haaland. I'd have put my mortgage on that. 1-on-1, on his left foot, 5 yards out, 10 yards out. Over the bar. Does it bobble? It's funny that we grew up loving Oasis and now all I can think when I see them is bloody Man City. They kept that quiet for the 90s, says Nick P. This is a good poll. Trossard or Gordon? 47% Gordon and 53% Trossard. Look, I was waiting for this. Invader says, wasn't it boring when United were winning everything with Sir Alex? Mate, get back up your mum's chuff. Because if you weren't there, you're just doing it to be a troll. Like, I've seen every Premier League title winner, and there ain't no way that you can compare any other team to Man City's dominance. Because Man City's dominance came from nowhere and is based solely on money, having the best squad, the best players, and the best manager. Manchester United won 3 titles in a row against Wenger's Arsenal, who are one of the best teams the Premier League's ever had, and then won more up against the likes of Mourinho. So we never did this. We never did this where we were just comfortably head and shoulders above everybody else every season. Like, there were seasons where it was really close. I mean, Man City had it close with Liverpool that year where they won it and Liverpool got nearly 100 points. But I don't think it's close anymore. I don't think the last few years it's been close. Isn't this 4 in a row? Is it 4 in a row or 3 in a row? I think it might be 4 in a row. Chat. Is it 4 in a row or 3 in a row? It's 4, yeah. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And who's been their competitor really in the last 4 years? Look, whether you like it or not, they're just too good compared to everybody else because their squad is completely ripped. And they've got the best manager. The only saving grace is they didn't win the Champions League because they probably should have won the Champions League. I mean, they lost on penalties to Real Madrid. Fair play to Madrid, but I think they would have won the Champions League quite comfortably. They'd have beat that. They'd have beat Bayern. Madrid beat them because Madrid have just got that. They're Madrid, aren't they? They'll fight and they have that connection to the Champions League. I suppose that's the only saving grace is they probably would have won another treble. The only enjoyment I got from the Premier League anymore is a club like Villa disrupting the status quo, says the HPN. Go-to brand of butter, Mark, says Stoker. I don't really know. What about the refereeing decisions this season, Mark? Well, look, if you're Arsenal, you've got some valid questions to raise if Man City win the league by 2 points. You have, but no one will listen. we all know the decisions that have been dodgy this year for and against teams. Jack, I've just explained why it wasn't the same for Manchester United when we were winning titles. Like, I don't know how many more times I need to explain this. Like, we didn't have 115 charges against us. We didn't absolutely dominate the transfer market the way you did for 15 years. And we also had really good title races against teams like Newcastle, who were 12 points ahead at Christmas. Arsenal, who were managed by Wenger for about 5 years of our success. Mourinho at Chelsea. Like, it was a much harder title race to win because there was genuine competition. I think Arsenal have done really well this year, but I mean, this is, I watch football every single year. This is not Man City of last year. Man City of last year were very, very good. This year, they haven't had De Bruyne for half of it. They were dropping a lot of points in the first half of the season, and they're still going to win the league. What more could Arsenal do to win this league? And don't say, well, they shouldn't have lost to Villa, because you're basically asking them to win every fucking game since Christmas. Like, I don't think Arsenal could do any more. And I don't think they can do any more next year. I don't think there's anything more anybody else can do. And Man City are still better than everybody else, which is why I predict they'll win the league next year. This year, I don't see what's going to change. And people will go, when Pep goes, well, they'll just get the next best manager. Or when Haaland goes, they'll just get the next Haaland. They can afford to do it. Their business model at the moment is such that they can spend probably £200 million every single summer and never be in any danger of being in trouble with FFP. So if they want João Neves this summer, they can get him. They also sell really well, young players and serving players. City's dominance is different to Man United. Man United came down to incredible execution in a competitive league. Man City are juggernauts without competition, says Jim. And Ria says, can we really even say Arsenal have bottled it? They've done everything right. No, absolutely not. I mean, look, there will be people out there who take a dig at Arsenal all the time, of course, 100%, and they will say Arsenal bottled it. I cannot believe that. Arsenal have bottled nothing. They haven't got the same squad that Man City have got. They haven't got the same quality of players that Man City have got. And they certainly haven't got the funds and resources that Man City have got. And yet, they've pushed them about as well as they could all the way through. There's no bottle element. I mean, look, I've always said this. If you take Man City out of this league, it's actually a really good league. Like, Arsenal would be winning it. Liverpool would be 5 points behind them. It's a really interesting league, but we have got a big problem in the Premier League. We've got 3 teams going straight back down, and we've got another team winning 4 in a row. So there's a competitive problem in the Premier League, whether people want to say it. And I get Man City fans going, oh, salty tears and everything like that, because sing when you're winning. I completely understand that. But of course there's a problem when one team is winning 4 in a row and the same 3 teams that come up are going down. Of course there is. It's logical. It's not just their first team, says Bean Dead. It's their women's team and the under-18s as well. Alex says 99 treble was pure class. City treble was pure checkbook. Come back when you learn football up the Solihull Moors, says Alex. Man United cannot afford the same players as City. Would you say last year's title was easy for City, says Tyson? Well, I think Arsenal are better this year than they were last year. So, and I think it's funny actually. I think Arsenal are better this year than they were last year. But I think Man City were better last year than they are this year. So how does that work? So Arsenal are a better team this year than they were last year. But Man City are not as good this year as they were last year. So Arsenal never had a chance last year, did they really? That's probably why it's been a bit closer, because Arsenal are better this year than they were last year, and Man City I don't think Man City are as good as they were last year. Oh, it's 3-0. Vardy out. Well, there's still 20 minutes to go here, and they're pulling in the goal difference as well. There was a good question there. Good question came in. If it was Man United doing this, what would you think? Well, look, people aren't going to believe me about this, but there were... That's offside. He's gone for the ball. That's got to be offside because Akanji stretches for the ball again. That has to be offside. This is Fulham again. This will be given as offside. That'll be offside. That'll be given as offside because it's not going to make any difference to Arsenal, but Akanji's stretched to get the ball. It's the same. This happened to Fulham at the Etihad, and I think it was the same player again. Yeah, 100% offside. Akanji goes to win the ball. I don't know why they're taking so long. Oh, unless he wasn't offside. Oh no, Akanji's miles on. Bottom player. Yeah, we're looking at it from there, but there's a Fulham player down at the bottom of the pitch who's not got out in time. I don't know why they're taking so long. Yeah, it was onside, to be fair. Yeah, the question was, if Man United were doing this, would you be saying it was boring? Yeah. There were seasons where United won it, and it was boring. Like, we'd win the league by quite comfortable. It's always better when you win the league, like we did in '99. Oh God, here they go with the Poznan that they nicked from somebody else. Noel Gallagher's not doing it. At least he's got some class. Yeah, I think even Noel Gallagher knows that is embarrassing. Yeah, they nicked that from another club as well. Ugh. Paper says, we're Man City and we're winning the league. We've been champions for the past 3 years and we're ready to call ourselves champions again. Yeah. Who were you supporting a couple of years ago, mate? The pitch pattern changed with the sun moving, I guess. Kind of wild, says Colin. Patrick says, what's your opinion on McKenna in Ipswich? Coaching was an issue when he was at United. Do you think he's developed, or was he limited under Ollie? Well, he's clearly developed, Patrick. I mean, like, he wasn't ready for United. Carrick wasn't ready for United. They needed to go and do their apprenticeship. Nick P says, Noel knows you don't turn your back on people. Don't look back in anger. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Man City play Spurs on Tuesday at Spurs. Ain't no way. There's just no way, is there? There's no way that that's going to happen. I mean, I'd almost understand it not happening. Spurs do not want Arsenal to win the league. I think City will be found guilty, even if it's half the charges, and get kicked out of the league. The Prem will set a precedent, says Nicholas Walker. I don't know. I've always said I don't think they'll get found guilty. I've got no information on it. It's just a hunch. I've always felt that they won't get found guilty. Because I don't really know that the... Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think they will. Are City the best ever Premier League team, says Ozone? Of course they're not. Simply because no one gives them any credit. If we're being honest, I don't think... I think if we did a poll on who's the best ever Premier League team, Man City wouldn't get any votes. And that's their problem. It's that nobody gives them any... They've got no... I don't want to say this in a blunt way, but nobody will vote for Man City because they've got no credit in the bank. Nobody respects what they've done. Rightly or wrongly, they don't. It's what frustrates Pep Guardiola all the time. He feels they don't get the credit they deserve for what they've done. They just won't go. They won't get it. Robbo says, the sadistic side of me wants City to win the Premier League for the next 10 years. Let them turn us into a joke league. I sort of get what you mean, Robbo. And I think that we should stop, actually. I mean, it's more of a podcast thing. And maybe I'll bring it up this week. We should stop living in a fantasy around the Premier League. It's not the best league in the world. It simply isn't the best league in the world. And I've spent a lot of time over the last few years saying it's the best league in the world. It's not the best league in the world. We've got no team in the final of the Conference League. We had no team in the semi-finals of the Europa League or the Champions League. That's not a freak of nature. That's not a coincidence. Like we've got no English teams, no Premier League teams doing well in Europe. Why? Why? We've got 3 teams coming up going straight back down, and we've got 1 team winning 6 out of 7. Premier League's not the best league in the world. People need to start chanting about it because I want it to be the best league in the world, but it's not. And we as fans are guilty of hyping it up. And ultimately, it's the best brand league in the world. It's the most watched league in the world because it's an amazing brand. But it's not the best league in the world. It simply isn't the best league in the world on entertainment and on ability, as proven by the performances in Europe across all competitions, and also the fact that you know who's going to win this league before it starts, and you know who's going to get relegated before it starts. So what we need to start doing, and people need to wake up to this, is we need to start saying this league is no different to the French league. We know who's going to win it. The team who's got the most money. PSG. Man City. It's not the best league in the world. And you know, people who are pumping money into the Premier League are pumping money into the Premier League because of fans. Are you going to stop? Am I going to stop? Probably not. But that's because my team plays in the Premier League, and that's the thing, isn't it? The most supported leagues, the most supported teams in the world will predominantly be Premier League sides, so people will still keep watching it. But as a league, I think it's dying. I think it's regressing, and that's not all because of Man City. I mean, God, no. Man City lost to Real Madrid on penalties. What was Arsenal's excuse? What was Man United's excuse? What was Newcastle's excuse? What was Liverpool's excuse? What was Brighton's excuse? What was Villa's excuse? You know, the European failure is shared by everybody. It's fell off a cliff, the Premier League, but nobody wants to talk about it. On every single level, it's fell off a cliff. Even the points deductions this season have been laughable. The officiating, we haven't even mentioned the officiating. It's absolutely abysmal. So, yeah, it is dying as a league at the moment, and the Premier League have to stop being like the FA, which is, well, we just make money. That's all we want to do. Do they really actually care about the brand itself? Do they care about, what's going on? The Italian league is the best league in the world, says Charlie. The difference I feel compared to the old eras and current City era is the point tally required to win the league. With the fixture issues, no other squad is able to keep winning every week. I think that's a great point by Aswin. You can't... Arsenal, Liverpool can't maintain for 9 months what a big squad like Man City can. I think the squad thing is really important. I also think that Man City not having De Bruyne for half the season has probably made it a little bit closer. How many points do you think De Bruyne is worth if he was fit from August to Christmas? It's got to be worth another 5 points. So, again, look, I'll have the honest chat. I don't like what's happening, but I'll have the honest chat. I do think that we've been kidded this season, that we've got the best league in the world when we haven't. And I also think Man City are still going to win the league, despite how well Arsenal have done. And De Bruyne only played half a season. With De Bruyne, where did Man City lose a lot of their points first half of the season? If they had De Bruyne at the start of the season, I think they'd have another 5 to 10 points, and it wouldn't even be close. So, if anything, we've been kidded, and Arsenal have been kidded into this being close, because Man City dropped most of their points before Christmas. And some of those were when Rodri was suspended as well. One team winning 6 out of 7s can't be good for the brand, says Aaron. Yeah, but do the Premier League care? This summer when you see all your adverts about another Premier League season's back. It's back and it's live. I mean, everyone gets excited, don't they? They're not going to come out and go, the Premier League's back and Man City are going to win it before we've kicked a ball. And the three promoted teams are favourites to go down. And we'll probably be shit in Europe because we play too many minutes in the Premier League. And VAR is going to fuck it up. And it's live. They're not going to tell that story, are they? Because people aren't going to get excited about it then. Somebody said you're just bitter, Mark. We're not actually talking about Man City. We're talking about the Premier League as a whole. We're talking about officiating. We're talking about bad performance in Europe. We're talking about relegated sides. We're talking about the league not being the best league in the world. We're not actually talking about Man City, really. We're talking about the whole lot. Yeah, well, as I said, look, the advert always is, well, it's not Martin Tyler anymore, is it? But it would always be, they're back, and it's De Bruyne, Salah, Saka. And that's what gets you excited, when actually it should be 3 newly promoted teams, and it's live as they get relegated by the end of April. And the title race will be over by Christmas as Man City win 5 in a row and 7 out of 8, and it's live. We've still got the same shit officials fucking you over every weekend, and it's live. What else have we got? Yep, with the new French league, and it's live. Is it going to be any different next season? Have I called it wrong? Are we going to get a different title winner next year? Are we going to get different teams relegated than the 3 promoted teams? And is VAR suddenly going to work really, really well? And are we going to stop playing 15 minutes extra every game? No. We're not. I don't think any of those things are going to get sorted. And look, bitter, salty, wrong. Tell me that I'm stretching in relation to what I've just predicted, because that should have been the advert for this year. If you go back to August when they're going, a new Premier League season and it's live. We've got Salah, we've got Saka, we've got Arteta versus Pep, Klopp, we've got the lot. This season, Luton promoted. This season's going to be the best one ever and it's live. And actually, you look back on it now and you go, same team's going to win the league. 3 promoted teams are going to get relegated. Officiating's going to be absolutely horrendous and fuck everybody like it should be on YouPorn. And on top of that, we're also going to fuck up every team for injuries by adding on 15 minutes to every single game when players are playing even more than they ever done. And it's live. Like, that really should have been the advertisement for this season. The reason everybody's getting injured, and we've had a 20% increase in injuries in the Premier League, and it's live, is because we had 15 minutes on to every bloody game. And we can't deal with it. And that's why everyone's getting so many injuries. And it's probably why we're shit in Europe, because everybody's fucking knackered. The best way to assess something is not to predict the future, it's to assess the recent past. And basically, they mugged us off last summer with the greatest league in the world. And what have we had? Shit officiating, boring title race, boring relegation, too many minutes played, shit performance in Europe. Tell me I'm wrong. Ever start criticising your club? Your club spent $1 billion. Yeah, we're not talking about Manchester United paper because it's a Man City watch-along about the title and I do the United stand. So tune in tonight at 7:30. City didn't buy their players whilst being world-class though. Pep turned them world-class like Rodri, De Bruyne, Silva, Stones, Diaz. Yeah, you're right, Hammer. That's why they've got the best manager in the world. What's your point? What's your point? They've got the best manager in the world who can buy whatever he wants. Nobody's saying that Pep doesn't develop players. Look at Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool. Jota turned him into world class. You know, that's what good managers do. So when you recruit the best manager, you buy. How many right backs did he buy before he got the right back? How many goalkeepers did he buy before he got the right goalkeeper? Like, they give him what he wants, and he's a very good manager. Samaj says, you talk about our resources, but we're 6th in net spend over the past 5 seasons. Explain that. 2024 take away 5 is 2019. So what did you do for the previous 11 years from 2008 to 2019? Spent a shitload of money building a foundation that you can now live off. I mean, I know your history more than you do, and you've got a Man City fucking emoji. Come on, mate. Did you only start supporting them 5 years ago then? Like, Man City do spend really well over the last 5 years because their revenue is massive and they don't need to buy a squad as much anymore. So, of course, their books look good over the last 5 years. The German league is the best league in the world, says Ollie. It's you know what? It's a good question. Who has got the best league in the world? Because Italy is competitive, but look at their performance in Europe. It's not been that good. The Germans have done really, really well in Europe, and Leverkusen are probably arguably the best team in Europe at the moment. So it probably is the Bundesliga, yeah. It probably is the Bundesliga, but is it? I don't watch it week in, week out. Is it a competitive league? It's certainly been well, for the last 10 years, Bayern Munich have won it. So are we giving it to the Bundesliga based on 1 year, and is it sustainable? I think right here, right now, the Bundesliga is the best league in the world. But only for this 12 months. But look, La Liga was the best, and then the Premier League took it. Serie A was the best, and La Liga took it. So maybe it is going to be the Bundesliga, or maybe somebody else will take it. I think right here, right now, the Bundesliga is the best league in the world. No way, it's still the Premier League, says RJ. But why is it the Premier League? Why is the Premier League the best league in the world? You can't just say it because you've got some sort of Premier League bias or agenda. Like, why is the Premier League the best league in the world? Speak to yourself in a mirror and tell yourself, why is it the best league in the world? What is it about the Premier League that's the best in the world? We've got the worst officiating. We play way too many minutes. We've got way too many injuries. The title race is going to be boring, and the relegation race is boring. So why is it the best league in the world? That's what I mean. You have to have that wake-up moment. What is it about the Premier League that makes it the best in the world? We pay the most money in the world. We rip our fans off the most in the world. It's the best brand in the world. But what is it that makes the Premier League the best league in the world? Goldio says, football in general has declined so much. It's sad. Evan says, I don't think it's a boring title race. It was actually really good until Liverpool dropped out, but I think the race is still well and truly on. I think Arsenal have been incredible to keep it going. But I've said for weeks they're not going to get it. They won't get it done. I think they'll beat United tomorrow, but Man City just need to beat Spurs and it's over. I mean, actually, this is the best thing I can tell you, right? Because I said on the podcast a couple of weeks ago that the Man City's win ratio in the final 5 games of the season in the last 6 seasons is incredible. It's like 90-something%. So they just don't lose in the final 5 or 6 games of the season. But if you look at Man City, since they drew with Arsenal on the 31st of March, they've beat Villa, they've beat Palace, they've beat Luton, they've beat Brighton, they've beat Forest, they've beat Wolves, and they're beating Fulham. 7 wins in a row since the end of March in the league. And the only time they've dropped points in the last bloody hell, yeah. I'm trying to find a place where they've dropped points. 3-1, 3-1. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. I can't see a point. I can't see where they've lost. So in 2024, Man City have won every Premier League game apart from a draw against Arsenal and a draw at Anfield. And that's what you're up against. That's what I mean. Arsenal have been incredible to be taking this into May. Man City have won every Premier League game in 2024 apart from a draw against Arsenal and a draw against Liverpool, which they should have lost because it should have been a penalty, but they still got a draw. They've won every Premier League game in 2024 apart from a draw against Arsenal and a draw against Liverpool. I mean, what the fuck are you supposed to do if you're Arsenal? Like, what are you supposed to do? There's no margin for error at all. PM says the Bundesliga is the most entertaining league. Every game is interesting. Even Bayern lost to Heidenheim. Who could go to Europe as a newcomer? And man, England must suck. Corrupt officials, bad weather, bland food, and nowhere to drive your car really quick, says Parker. Championship is up there with one of the best leagues, says Mason. The Championship is a very good league. And it doesn't have VAR. Yeah, the Premier League's not even the best league in England. There we go. It took us all game to figure this out. The Premier League's not the best league in the world. It's not even the best league in England. It's the Championship. Also, did you hear about Wycombe's new billionaire owner? 5.7 billion. Name is Lomtadze. Can you see Wycombe getting into the Premier League from League One with new owners also wanting Dan Rice from Everton, says Wycombe. And it's live. And it's shite. That's what they should do. I don't think they'll go with that as their promotional campaign for next season. Oh, it's just giving me an idea. That's Football new season promo is going to be an advert for the Premier League. We're going to get a proper camera crew. We'll be outside the Emirates. We'll be outside the Etihad, walking round and going, "We're back! The Premier League is back, and it's shite. Remember all those rubbish VAR decisions? We're back. It's all coming back. Remember adding 50 minutes on to every single game? Yeah, we'll be doing that. Get ready for your injury records to increase. We've just had a Euros as well, so the players are going to be tired. But we're still going to add on another 10 minutes every game. And it's shite." He's given a penalty. And he's given a red card. I haven't. I'll have to watch this back. Diop's got a second yellow. Yeah, it did look like it was, to be fair. Yeah. It's late. It's late. It was late. Vardiel could have gone for a hat-trick. Doesn't want it. Alvarez is taking it. Well, look. In relation to the league, the league as well, they've pulled their goal difference back right massively as well, haven't they? I mean, I don't know what it is. It's not. It's going to be 2 behind them, 2 behind Arsenal now. Although Arsenal are playing Man United tomorrow, that could be 6. Look, there's still hope. I suspect Arsenal will win tomorrow. If they win tomorrow and Man City don't beat Spurs, then it's still on, isn't it? We'll be doing the watch-along on Tuesday, but Man City don't drop points in the final 10 games of the season when it matters, does it? Richard Smith says Arsenal struggle at Old Trafford. I genuinely think I could put a team together tomorrow of the beta squad, Sidemen, Angry Ginge and me and Danny Aarons, and we'd still probably get a result. So I don't think Arsenal have any problems. Jangle says, thinking about it, the City-Liverpool game wouldn't matter as City would still win the league by a point. And no, I think from it's game over. I think from Arsenal's big perspective this season, I mean, Man City have had quite a few decisions that could have cost them points. But from an Arsenal point of view, the only one that really sticks out to me, Liverpool have had a load. Liverpool have had quite a few, haven't they? But the Arsenal one that sticks out for me was the pushing the back at Newcastle, where Gabriel got pushed and they lost, didn't they? That was never a foul. So Arsenal should have another point, but it wouldn't necessarily make a lot of difference. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I've actually enjoyed that watch along, actually. No petulance, no stopping the stream. No contest as well. In fairness, Man City were dominant. Fulham looked like a team on the bench, on the beach. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I'm on the United stand at 7:30 tonight, so you can join me on there. And obviously United stand tomorrow for Man United against Arsenal, so looking forward to those as well. Take care. I'll see you later on United stand. I'm not doing another watch along today, but if there's any big results, I probably will do a match reaction. Thanks for all the conversation today. I really enjoyed the bit about the Premier League. I really did. You know, it's given me an idea for an advert, which has probably already been clipped up anyway. Trossard beat Gordon by 45 to 55% as well. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. And don't forget to put your sun cream on if you're out in the sun. Speak to you in a bit.